Earlier under the magic barrier.
We essentially have 1/4 of the adventure behind us and 3/4 to look forward to.
Zaprowadź mnie do waszego obozu. Chciałbym się tam rozejrzeć.
To wspaniale. Chodź za mną.
Look how happy he recruited someone. You know, this is a pyramid scheme essentially. I'm sure he gets some rewards and benefits the more people he onboards into this. Balor is a decent fighter for these low-tier monsters. Look at him take on the lizard. There, done in 3 hits, and we're the ones that can steal the spoils. There's weed smoke all around. This is perfect, he's constantly high. Guys, pick up this pipe to be just like Sherlock Holmes and unlock the achievement.
Jesteśmy na miejscu. Tam leży obóz Bractwa Śniącego.
The swamp camp is below me. My companion advised me to talk to Kor Kalom. He's the head of the novices and tutors.
Czego chcesz?
Chciałbym przyłączyć się do bractwa. Podobno jesteś zwierzchnikiem nowicjuszy. I to ty decydujesz, kto zostanie przyjęty.
Zdam się na osąd Balów. Jeśli oni uznają, że jesteś gotów, by do nas dołączyć, zgłoś się do mnie ponownie.
Cześć, jestem tu nowy. Cześć, jestem tu nowy.
Yeah, this isn't gonna work, is it?
Śniący będzie z tobą. Wszystko w
You
porządku,
know how this will
kolego?
go.
Odezwałeś się do guru. Nigdy więcej tego nie rób. To bluźnierstwo. Jeśli jakiś mistrz zechce z tobą rozmawiać, sam się do ciebie odezwie.
Ale ja muszę porozmawiać z twoim mistrzem.
Nie próbuj. Gwarantuję ci, że potrafię udzielić ci wszystkich potrzebnych informacji.
And who the hell are you to be so helpful to strangers? That's highly suspicious if you ask me.
Kim jesteś?
Nazywam się Lester. Zajmuję się naszymi nowymi
Oh,
gośćmi.
that's his job. Never mind then.
Chcesz do nas dołączyć? To świetnie. Zaczekaj. Tak, chyba mógłbym ci pomóc. Oczywiście musiałbyś wyświadczyć mi drobną przysługę. Rozmawiałeś już z Fortuną?
Zwycięzca bez dwóch zdań.
Got it. The most important thing is we have Fortuna's club in our inventory. Let's equip it.
W takim razie idź do niego i odbierz swoją dzienną rację. Jeśli dasz mi całe ziele, które od niego otrzymasz, dobijemy targu.
And now wait for him to pick himself up.
Jeszcze pożałujesz!
What does he say, being angry to us, by the way?
Nadal szukasz kłopotów?
Yes.
Facet ma
And my
dość.
friends, self-defeat achievement has just unlocked and is yours.
Mam ziele przy sobie. Możemy zawrzeć układ.
Dobrze. Zauważyłeś pewnie, że żaden z guru nie chce z tobą rozmawiać.
Yeah.
Możesz to zmienić,
It's a problem.
sprawiając na nich dobre wrażenie. Mogę ci powiedzieć, jak tego dokonać.
Please.
Jak mogę przekonać do siebie guru?
Balkadar wprowadza nowicjuszy w tajniki magii. Jeśli chcesz zwrócić na siebie jego uwagę, posłuż się czarami.
This novice without the shirt on will have most comfortable time on the floor, I think.
Co ty wyprawiasz?
A bit close,
Próbuję
no?
medytować z moimi uczniami. Kto cię nauczył wykorzystywać magiczne moce śniącego?
Nikt. To było całkiem proste.
Wyglądasz mi na pojętnego ucznia. Będę twoim mistrzem.
Baal Namib to ten przy bramie. To jeden z najpotężniejszych ludzi w obozie. Lester będzie mógł ci jakoś pomóc.
Jak mogę skłonić twojego mistrza do rozmowy ze mną?
Musisz wiedzieć, co chciałby usłyszeć.
Wyrzekłem się starych bogów.
Czyżby? Co cię skłoniło do tak drastycznych kroków?
Przeżyłem objawienie. Śniący zwrócił się do mnie.
I co powiedział?
Powiedział: idź do obozu na bagnie i przyłącz się do bractwa.
Zostałeś wybrany przez śniącego. Czy twoim życzeniem naprawdę jest dołączyć do nas?
Tak, chcę podążać drogą śniącego.
Idź do Kor Kaloma. Powiedz mu, że przysyłam cię do niego, bo widzę, iż twoja wiara jest szczera.
Idź do nich i przynieś wszystko, co uzbierali do laboratorium alchemicznego Kaloma.
Przysyła mnie Balorun. Mam dostarczyć do obozu zebrane przez was ziele.
Masz to wszystko, co udało nam się zebrać. Zanieś to do Kor Kaloma.
Proszę codzienną porcję
100
ziela.
experience, no pay.
Daj mi to. A teraz zejdź mi z oczu.
Pokazałeś również, że jesteś godnym sługą śniącego. Myślę, że jesteś godzien nosić szatę nowicjusza.
Wtedy zapłacą cenę. Zapłacą ją własną krwią i własnym życiem.
W jaki sposób mogę udowodnić swoją lojalność?
Przede wszystkim potrzebujemy nowych dusz,
the pyramid
które
scheme
zechcą
continues,
przyłączyć
guys.
się do naszej społeczności. Jeśli chcesz mnie przekonać o swojej przydatności dla naszego obozu, Przyprowadź mi jeszcze jednego człowieka, który zechce zostać członkiem bractwa.
We're gonna clear large part of the map, and that's gonna be the subject of our next episode, as well as moving in between the old camp and the swamp camp for some additional quests, like bringing Dusty along and telling you how that's gonna work out. So hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Gothic Classic. This is guys 115 speaking, and I'm very happy to welcome you to our 7th day inside the colony. It's been pretty eventful in the previous episode, as you could have seen in the recap, and before I start going over some of the journal entries I forgot to show you, I just want to make a very important disclaimer. At the time of me recording this episode, we are less than a week away from the release date of Gothic Remake. You can imagine how incredibly excited I am. This is important because by the time you guys see this video, not only is Gothic Remake already out, but I have probably already shared my first impressions quick video for that, okay? So I just want to explain the timeline somewhat and explain why I'm not going to be talking like someone who has already experienced Gothic Remake, because at the time of me recording this, when I finally found the time, it's already gonna be out, but that's not the case for me right here, right now. Okay guys, so just wanted to get that out of the way, incredibly excited. Anywho, let's go over some of the journal entries tied to the previous episode. We have learned how to remove sticks from the Bloodflies book, then we have notes on the merchants in the swamp camp, which are the novice Darien, who deals with weapons, spends most of his time in the smithy, not most of his time, all of his time. The guy doesn't sleep, even if sleeping actually works in the game. Fortuna deals with herbs underneath the alchemy lab, Balkadar says runes and scrolls, but even a better entry, the Guru Balkadar sells runes, magic scrolls, potions, amulets, and rings. The amulets and rings are especially crucial there. Okay, the merchant in the new camp, this is where the entry for the Cypher for the Drug Lord achievement came out. So Cypher buys and sells all sorts of goods in the bar at the lake. He's especially interested in major Swampweed deliveries. That's true for the achievement, but otherwise works like any other merchant in the game. And then tutor in the swamp camp, just the Guru Balkadar can help me increase my mana. That's it for now. No one to increase our strength and dexterity in the entire sect camp until we join them, which is a little bit odd. Anyway guys, when it comes to the completed missions, Viran gave me the second half of today's Swampweed Harvest. Let's see whether Korkalom is satisfied with the amount, and like we remember it, Korkalom was as unbearable as always when I gave him today's Swampweed Harvest. Like I said before, the relationship between Nameless and Korkalom always puts a smile on my face. They just really cannot stand one another. Anywho guys, now we're going to talk about what are we going to do in today's episode, and the answer to that can be found when we take a look at the map. I want to clear the largest forest all the way to the east in the game and its small pockets. I want to clear the plateau full of lizards leading to the mountain fortress. I also want us to hunt some of the northern beaches lurkers and bloodflies, and then clear the forest leading to the old mine of wolves, which we were too weak to do previously, and also clear the shores on the other side with a beach filled with lurkers and lizards, but we'll stay away from black goblins. In other words, we're gonna go on a very extensive hunt episode today. We're also gonna pop back into the old camp and then back to the swamp camp to deliver Dusty to Baltondral. That's the deal essentially. Anyway, we have the field bow, so we can take mole rats down from safe distance, which is always nice. They hesitate to attack, which is good for range characters. And there we go, it really couldn't be simpler. Now honestly guys, since we don't have a longbow yet, we are still more pro-efficient with that battle sword, okay? Maybe I would reconsider if we were masters of bows with 30% crit chance, but 15% don't count on seeing that many reliably, okay? But they will happen, and when they happen, it's always good time. Especially with the damage pop-up mod that I'm using, you are not gonna fail to notice, even if the enemy had little health remaining. Okay, so let's pick everything up in this small, rather pointless cave. Pointless, unfinished caves are the name of the game in Gothic 1, unfortunately. There is so much unfinished content here that I hope will be addressed in the remake. At least this is one of those that has something to acknowledge loot, but most of them in the game have absolutely nothing for your troubles, so that can be a bit frustrating. Critical would have been nice, but that's fine. As long as the bloodflies didn't touch us, I'm very happy. And I think we'll end up leveling twice in this episode due to the sheer amount of experience we're gonna get from our hunt. And again, if you are, maybe this is your first, second playthrough or something, and you're struggling with the game's difficulty somewhat, you don't need to hunt out everything that I'm gonna do in today's episode, okay? I feel like some of the larger wolf packs at this stage are really pushing it, as are lurkers, honestly. Those I consider the first mid-tier monster we are gonna start taking down, because we are very low-level characters still. Anyway, lizards have some range protection, 10, so I'm not gonna bother, and I'm just gonna use our sword for this. And remember that you can not only pull them individually, but if you step back at the right moment, they cannot hit you, which you should absolutely use and exploit to your advantage. And there we go, we've hit level 6, which is excellent. Ooh, and a nice juicy critical over there. Let me just check the map if we haven't... Yeah, we haven't missed anything. Again, love the dots mod and the fact that you can toggle them with the spacebar, very useful. Or if you're playing the PC version with a controller utility, whatever you choose, essentially. Now, before I follow this path deeper into the forest to the right, I think I actually want to take the detour to the left. We've already passed by here with, what was his name, Balor, I think, clearing some of the lizards and finding the pipe for Sherlock Holmes achievement. There are, however, way more lizards on that plateau, and since we are a proficient lizard killing machine, we need to take that juicy experience for us. And by the way, this bridge, we just passed alongside of it. I'm still gonna keep it a mystery. Just know that this is one of the first places I found in the colony when I played the game as a kid and was just wandering aimlessly, not even realizing you're supposed to go to the old camp as the central hub, because I didn't speak English. But I want to show you what's behind that bridge when appropriate in the story. Guys, look at us. We didn't even refill our health and we took down 3 lizards, but talking about refilling our health, whilst we lure that guy here... Oh no, there's no time. Let's see if we can pull this off. Excellent. Isn't life just so much better with critical hits? I personally think so. Okay. And the final lizard on this plateau. Holy moly. Very good. Now the reason why I'm gonna stop here is right over yonder there. Let me get our bow out. And it's something called a Bloodhound. An absolutely terrifying monster. It has 0 range protection, meaning ranged weapons are their weakness. But guys, these things will absolutely rip us to shreds. I think if we could cheese it from some spot, I could maybe take it down with a field bow, seeing as it has 0 range protection. Eventually we would take it down, but not until we have a longbow, guys. Longbow unlocks so many possibilities in the game, and that's something I want to celebrate with taking on tougher monsters. Besides, we have plenty of game to hunt even on the low tier, as I refer to it. Pretty much everything from juvenile mole rats and scavengers to wolves, I would consider tier 1. Wolves are the pinnacle of that. Yeah, they're stronger than lizards despite their size. Now, the path I would like to hunt out and explore now is going along to the coastline above the Brotherhood camp. We'll see what the view is like from the top, which I'm looking forward to. And let's just be careful as we're entering this forest, because there be not 1 but 2 shadow beasts over here. Oh yeah, there's already the first one. More rats. Let's get rid of the bloodsuckers. Oh, we hit 2 with 1 arrow. That can happen occasionally. Wolves are chasing a mole rat. Oh no, you didn't, you bloody bastard. That experience is mine. Okay, now they're gonna start eating, but hopefully not attacking. Oh my god. And it bites us and starts eating? The sheer audacity of that thing. Oh, where did you come from? As you can tell, things will be very chaotic in today's episode, which is honestly a whole lot of fun. Okay, we barely just entered the sort of edge, the peripheral of the forest, and look what's happening here already. Now, I would like to take down that bloodfly over there, if at all possible, without attracting the shadow beast's attention. Oh, it just doesn't want to play ball, does it? Ah, there we go. Excellent. It did manage to sting us, which is somewhat annoying. But anyway, I just wanted to show you Shadow Beast 50 range protection. I keep praising the longbow, but longbow has nothing on this beast. This is what I like to call the top tier monster, and he just killed a juicy mole rat and is snacking on it. Yeah, we're not taking the meat of that mole rat. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. I'm gonna be brazen enough to take these 2 mushrooms, and for the time being, I think let's just get out. I really want to show you the coastline. We're gonna catch a glimpse of it early in the morning, which is gonna be a lot of fun. Ooh, you know what? No, sorry. Decision time. I've seen some sleeping scavengers, and this might be the only opportunity I get of showing you how you can sneak up on wild animals. Okay, they're falling asleep. Good. So guys, something I want to show you. If you take your sword out, the sneaking animation is vastly different. Oh, there's a wolf. Of course there's a wolf. Okay, you know what? Let's take care of the wolf and hopefully not wake up the scavengers. Oh, there's always another wolf, isn't there? Is he gonna start cannibalizing his friend? Guys, the scavengers are still asleep, and this is something I want to show you. If you can take him down in one hit, I recommend sneaking. You can do charge attack and just kill them without waking up the whole herd. This is why even a hunter like Cavalon can teach you how to sneak. The idea is that hunters, just like thieves, are perfect at sneaking for their craft, right? Now, I'll be honest, this isn't all that useful. Correct me, Gothic veterans, if I'm wrong, but it's really only the scavengers that sleep, no? Mole rats don't sleep, wolves don't sleep, lizards don't sleep, lurkers don't sleep, bloodflies definitely don't sleep. Sorry, shadow beasts actually do sleep. Throughout the day, they are awake at night, which is, I think, pretty cool that they have the very opposite, which also makes their name really suit them. Okay, we're gonna go for that plant. Let's, for now, keep to the edge of the place. And if by any miracle... Oh my god! They're asleep, they're asleep. Although that looks like a solitary scavenger, so this is probably not gonna be that cool. But guys, we invested 10 skill points into sneaking. We might as well benefit from that. Okay, there is no unique animations like this. You're not gonna trigger some stealth takedown like you would in more modern games. And I see 2 sleeping scavengers, but one of them is fully awake. So I don't think... Wait, maybe if we sneak, take it down with 1 blow? The others still remain asleep. Okay, awesome. So this is... Oh, shoot. What was that? Maybe they all woke up because it's 6 AM, essentially? That could be it. Maybe they're just scheduled to do that and we caught a glimpse of that. Oh, anyway, I don't mind. That's fine. We didn't even get hit. Okay. So the path I'm taking, you don't have to clear it out now. Like I said, most of the things I'm going to show you as part of our hunt today, you don't have to do at this stage. It's just really, really helpful to get all the experience you are able to get, okay? This is something I explained since the very first episode. This is something the achievement name for destroying all 10 meatbugs actually tells you. Experience is key, indeed. And it actually creates this ridiculously addictive gameplay cycle, which I can't praise enough. It's honestly, I think it feels even better in Gothic 2. Especially because you're gonna be so very weak for much longer than in Gothic 1, where you are gonna turn powerful relatively quickly. If this is your first Piranha Bytes game, it will probably still feel like, wow, we're weak for half of the game, but Gothic 2, oh boy, you're weak for pretty much 3/4 of the game and then you're omnipotent. With the Night of the Raven expansion, of course. Okay, so we're approaching a very interesting place, but let me get rid of the not so interesting mushrooms and we should see a lot of green dots disappearing from the map. And if anything for you guys who are going to be maybe playing the PlayStation 5 version, watching my videos will do and benefit you is maybe it will just help you remember that at some point when you looked at my videos there was a plant somewhere where you might have otherwise missed it. But it's this pedestal over here. This is going to play a role in the main story. I don't want to say shouldn't be here, but there's nothing to really see here right now. What we can absolutely take a look at, and I'm going to save because I might actually die showing you this, is the view above the swamp camp. Oh, these are not passable through. That's mildly annoying. Okay, and we are right above the temple courtyard of the Brotherhood of the Sleeper. We are right above everything, and you will also notice that when looking at the map, the 3 brown dots are actually chests inside the temple. I talked about this in our previous episode, okay? So I don't know why I find this really interesting. There is a safe way to get from up here down there via sliding across the cliff face over on the eastern side over here. I pulled it off once, and I'm hoping when the time comes, I'll be able to pull it off again, because it's a really neat shortcut as part of the main quest. Okay, so now let's refocus our attention to this small forest over here. Outside of the 3 brown dots for chests, we don't see anything else, and that's because this is yet another unfinished location. In this small forest, there are no plants, and if you take your bow out, you will see there are absolutely no enemies to hunt here. This is a bit of a bummer, and yeah, it's just this brown patch of fallen leaves that I want to take you across. And I just want to ensure that by the time we finish this series, we have explored every nook and cranny of this wonderful handcrafted world. That's one of the greatest joys of video gaming for me personally, seeing what the developers put there for us to toy with. Now, north of us is a green dot. This is a consumable item that's in a dungeon underneath us, attached to a fog tower, which we're going to admire from safe distance. We're not ready for the fog tower, not by a long shot. Now we're entering again the body of the largest forest of the game. This is where we played around with the bloodflies, wolves, mole rats, and scavengers. And I'm pretty sure in this, I guess we could call this a canyon of sorts. I've seen a plant somewhere, but we're reaching the stage where we might be ambushed via the largest wolf pack in the game. And each one of those bastards is level 9, as we've established. So there is a little bit of cheese. I'm gonna actually eat cheese for that. We need to employ. Let me get my enemy finder out, and what I mean by that is the bow. Oh, come on, Nameless. At least get his attention. How bad of a hunter you are. You're not untrained. Gosh darn it. Thank you. Okay, and now let's hide behind one of the trees. This will make it difficult for the wolf pack to synchronously attack you. Oh, don't pretend you were about to eat your colleague over there. Gosh darn it, these beasts. Do wolves actually cannibalize each other? I would imagine if the wolf pack is really extremely hungry, they're gonna go for like the weakest member and devour them. Like just this merciless law of nature. But I'm not sure if that's actually ever been documented. Anyway, you can probably tell I don't like wolves. They're just this incredibly cowardly creatures on their own and very strong when part of a pack. I mean, that can be applied to anyone, I guess. But I don't know, they annoy me to no end. Okay, not that I've ever encountered a wolf in a wild. I don't know why I talk like that. It's video games twisting my perception of reality is essentially what's happening. Okay, so, no, I think this is part of the biggest wolf pack. Nah, I'm glad I got your attention. Oh, come on. Don't sidestep around me. That's disrespectful. Oh, juicy critical. That probably might have saved our life. Now, despite being engaged in combat, you've probably already noticed this before when we were attacking mole rats, and then wolves came and started devouring their corpses. The AI gets overwritten that they need to eat, prioritizing anything else, even active combat. You can kind of like unintentionally, I did here, turn that to your advantage. Guys, I think this was actually the most dangerous part of the hunt, which just shows you how far we've come. Remember when we had to outrun a single wolf? Yeah, those times are over. Okay, let's not get too big for our boots. Not just yet. Okay, I would like to clear the bloodfly infestation over there. Oh, absolutely. Or you know what? No, we're gonna be coming back through this path back to north. I want to stick to the eastern side of the forest and then come back via the western side of it. Remember me having trouble with west and east in the previous episode? Yeah, I really tried to brush that up for this one. Just repeatedly practice which is west and east. Okay, so let's move on. Guys, I can't wait to just take a glimpse into the future and have this hunting episode in a Gothic Remake series. Yeah, I still don't know how I'm gonna juggle both Gothic Remake and the Gothic Classic game. I think the best thing I could do would be just start a series. And actually, the irony is that by the time you guys watch this video, I probably already have. But what I'm toying with in the past is something along the lines of Gothic Classic Veteran plays Gothic Remake for the first time on the hardest difficulty. Of course, I'll shorten it. This is the idea I'm toying with right now. And I want to do blind Let's Play series from the very beginning to the very end on the hardest difficulty to see how we'll be doing, minus the optional hardcore mode. Hey guys, Editing Zelgar is here. Just wanted to do a brief comment on what I assumed is gonna be the case back when I recorded this episode. Gothic Remake is indeed out at the time of me putting this video together. I'm having a fantastic time. However, I myself, nor the game itself, are ready to be properly covered via a Let's Play series. We are in a post-launch period where every couple of days a new hotfix is released via Alchemia, which completely changes the game's balancing. This would mean that any Let's Play series I make will immediately become irrelevant and outdated, and that's not the kind of video I want to leave on my channel. I want all of them to be timeless and relevant and helpful and applicable, even picked up a decade after their release. On top of that, non-functional achievements are still an issue, and one of them requires one of the difficulty settings to be on easy, where you already start the game being trained with one-handed weapons. In other words, I still need to take some time to study the game thoroughly and wait to see how Alchemia will actually rebalance the achievements, if at all, before I'll begin my Let's Play series. And frankly, that's probably gonna happen after I finish Gothic 1 Classic. What I am working on, however, that I'll need more time for, is my first impressions video from the Gothic Remake, but I want to finish it at least once before I'll share my thoughts with you. Anyway guys, just wanted to clarify this, and back to the video. Hardcore modes, I think, are fun if you know a game really well, which I think none of us can really say about the Gothic Remake, right? And I think to get maybe your Platinum trophy on your PlayStation 5, you're gonna have to beat the game on Hardcore mode, which on PC, at least, to get the achievement, I assume you'll be able to swap around your save states game files or something like that. But before I'll even attempt that, I think I would like to attempt the Gothic Classic hardcore run, just to see if my knowledge can keep us alive, but I'm just too scared of random glitched falls through the ceiling or the floor of the map and dying like that. And we are very close to Shadow Beast, and I don't appreciate that one bit. Okay, you were alone, right? You weren't followed. Where are you? You scallywag scavenger? Okay, there are 2 green dots in the southern part of this large forest. However, those remaining here are not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, I'm probably gonna remove one of those dots. There we go. But those over there are gonna serve as a reminder for me in the future to come back and scoop up the Shadow Beast. And I only want to start hunting Shadow Beast, well, first of all, once we're strong enough, that's a given, but also once we know how to extract the incredibly precious horns. We're gonna steal some before we're even able to do that from the Ore Baron's house, but a single Shadow Beast horn has a value of 500 ore, meaning you can sell it for 250. And on the Switch version, for full 500, because they still haven't fixed the price of items. Now, let me reload to re-trigger the Bloodfly flying path, so they don't disappear off the map or something like that. Oh, F off. Ah. What about you? There are wolves again? Didn't we... Oh no, we watched the 3 from distance after taking care of more rats. We did not clear them, in fact. Okay, let's loot the bodies before we engage the wolves. And now the question I like to propose for you guys is, can we take down 3 wolves with this remaining health? You can start voting in the comment section below. Nah, don't worry, just kidding. By the time you'll vote, this will all be over, one way or another. Shoot, I thought I'm gonna avoid that. Now, are you gonna eat or are you gonna attack? You choose. But don't just rub your buttocks there. Oh, critical! That means we could have made it. Holy moly. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Wow. Okay, I think the forest is officially wolf-free. There's one across the bridge as well, and I also want to show you particularly interesting pack, not of wolves, but pretty much their final evolution, the orc dogs. Yeah, all those things. Not quite as tough as wargs in Gothic 2, which are... Heck, I think those things are even tougher than orc fighters, but not tougher than elite. But still incredibly difficult to take down. Okay. Guys, doesn't it feel kind of great to know that this large, giant, intimidating forest has always been here? We've passed by it so many countless times, but now we're delving into it and pretty much clearing it out. I think that's amazing. And the music from Kai Rosenkranz, which somehow mimics leaves falling down, and also gives me the impression of this harder to breathe air almost. Oh my god. Nameless? Oh my god, it was so close, I don't even want to think about that. Before we die, let's eat some meat. Okay. I know this was kind of a meme even in Witcher 3, that Geralt would just be stuffing his face full of food to refuel health mid-combat. In Gothic, you technically shouldn't do that mid-combat, given how clunky the interface is. But on the Switch or PS5 version, if you assign it to your hotbar, you can absolutely devour an entire soup in a second to refill your health. Yeah. Which I think is endlessly funny. Okay, so... yeah, that's fine. It should be just right. And my friends, that's one part of the forest I'm not gonna clear. And it's the orc dogs. They have 30 range defense, so with the field bow, we can't really do any damage. When it comes to their melee defense, 60. We have 21 strength, and battle sword is 33. That means outside of a critical hit, we're not getting through that thick hide. Furthermore, orc dogs are terrifying in their own way. I think it's a bug, but on the PC version at least, if they catch a whiff of you, they're willing and eager to follow you through the entire world. It's absolutely horrifying, it makes no sense, but they are capable of doing that. Very slowly, via a very focused walk. It's honestly one of the things that terrified me the most when I was a kid playing the game. Orc dogs. Yeah. And I know they're tied to the Canine Betrayal achievement, but we're gonna be able to unlock that, if I'm not mistaken, in Chapter 4, when the scroll to turn into one of them becomes available. Until then, let's keep some alive. I'm not gonna just kill one after transforming into them. I'm gonna kill an entire orc dog pack, the largest one I think, or the second largest one in the game. One of the entrances into the orc dog territory. Actually, it should be orc dog territory, not orc territory. Okay, so that's another wolf pack gone. Oh, we got good at this. When I was originally practicing for this episode and putting my notes together, I would always prioritize taking the field bow out and trying to kill the wolves that way. And nah, maybe if we were masters of bow, which, I mean, we do have the learning points for, but I want to prioritize them in a slightly different way first. But at this stage with the battle sword, we're far better equipped to deal with wolves on melee. Besides, if you're meleeing them, you can always step back for those delicious invincibility frames, which doesn't work on Switch. It works on PS5. On Switch, you can block animals like you would people. You cannot do that on PC or PlayStation 5. That's another interesting thing I noticed. I cannot tell if that's by design or a mistake or something like that. Ah! Okay, that was definitely critical. Always happy to see those. 2 blood flies with 1 arrow. Again, when this happens, it almost feels like these are... Oh, we cannot loot it. Gosh darn it. Like these are shotgun pellets scattering to hit multiple targets. Okay? Okay, let's just... very quickly do this again. I guess I'm gonna use this opportunity, since we reloaded, to talk about the bridge here. This bridge leads to a beach with lizards, which, you know what, I'm probably gonna show that to you. But first I'd like to take care of the bloodsuckers over here, who are annoying me to no end, and I don't want them to die in a place where we cannot loot their body. Oh, that was 2 blood flies with 1 arrow. Did you see that, guys? Let me show that to you in slow motion. A thing of pure and utter beauty. Yeah? And this will be happening the more you double down on ranged combat. Okay, you know what? I talked about the bridge. I think we can take it safely. There will be snappers nearby, which I want to stay away from. Oh, and there in the distance is the fog tower. Mysterious fog tower, which is part of a completely optional, mysterious and obscure quest, which you don't have to do, but of course for an achievement you'll want to, and just for taking in the atmosphere of the game. That, I think, is gonna be the subject matter of Chapter 4 for me in this playthrough. Okay, so we can go to the right, where snappers, a mid-tier monster with 20 range protection, so 8 damage with this bow, which is not that great. With melee, we could just about get through, and I think a single snapper we could take down at this stage. But they, just like wolves, are a pack. Okay, so I don't recommend doing that. We'll come here, I think, when we have the longbow. Yeah, like I said, longbow is an answer to a lot of problems. Okay, there's lurkers over there, and that's gonna be the most dangerous thing we do today, and I wanna approach that with a bit of nuance. Now, there are snappers on our left over there. I would like to very much... Okay, there's a solitary lurker over there. I could maybe take him down now. With this health, that's probably a terrible idea, but if we are not gonna be disturbed and we'll be able to do it in peace... Ooh, maybe from the back? Yeah, you can tell. We're dealing 4 points of damage. Okay, this is pushing it, guys. This is really pushing it. But if you do, there's a ton of experience in it for you. Nevertheless, let's eat. And we'll be doing this a couple of more times today. If you can already start taking down lurkers, you'll have so many learning... Sorry, I keep reminding myself it's skill points in the original Gothic one. In Gothic Remake, I think it's already called learning points, just like in the rest of the series. But the first game. Okay, so... Let's clear this patch of the forest. And there's another large wolf pack over here, which is gonna be more challenging, I think, than taking down a lurker. Well, we'll see how well synchronized these fellas are. Okay. God, the music is so good here. Yeah, I can smell the music. Does that make sense, guys? I can smell autumn leaves making this sort of musky smell on the forest floor as we're stepping in. It's also the step sounds walking on the grass that really accentuate that, but the music, oh. This might be more than we bargained for. Let's use the tree for cover. I wish Nameless wouldn't be switching all the time. He's switching and I'm bitching about it. Oh. Guys, it's gonna be so much fun for me to, when editing the video together, to watch the footage of the facial expressions I'm making when fighting wolfpacks. You already have the honor of watching that. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. Oh, one thing. I hope the light conditions are a little bit better like this. I hope so. Okay, so... I actually started recording very late today, and it's unbearably hot where I'm at. I'm actually dying inside just wearing this shirt on me. And as a result, I have my window blinds almost all the way down, while still trying to give you a clear picture of my face. So, it's a tricky balance to meet, yeah. And hopefully, gradually opening the blinds up somewhat as it gets later on in the day will help. Okay, blood flies next. Okay, now it's true that we can take down a bloodfly in 2 hits with the sword rather than 3 shots from the bow. But honestly, given how often they end up flying over your head, or how often they end up clustering and you can hit 2 with 1 arrow, I think it's still worthwhile to use the field bow at this stage. Again, sorry for repeating myself, but longbow is a whole different story. By the way, there is a mound with holes in it. I don't know if this is supposed to be an anthill or termite hill or something like that. It's just nowhere else in the entire game, and I think that's interesting, but they haven't done anything with it other than put bloodflies surrounding it. So maybe it is supposed to symbolize a nest of them. Oh, very easy to miss this pack of scavengers on the other side of the bridge over here, where we cleared the bloodflies from. Not to be mistaken with an identical looking bridge, with orc dogs over there in the distance, leading to the scavengers. Sorry, the snappers. Thinking about what I have right in front of me, of course. Okay, excellent. Let's save. And we should be very close to clearing this last batch of forest out. Then I'm gonna move on to the northern shore for a while. To clear out more bloodflies, lurkers, that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm now pretty convinced this is supposed to be an anthill or bloodfly nest. Some insectoid hive, anyway. Oh, now that timing, Nameless, was delicious. Thank you for cooperating. Okay. As you can tell, the combat, once you get trained, actually, is very fast and visceral in Gothic 1, 2, and Arcolos. So the game's running on this engine. And I guess Golden Gate 1 and 2, which I haven't yet played, but I hear they're fantastic. And again, have full Polish voiceovers, which is another thing that just confirms my decision behind choosing the Polish voiceovers for a Let's Play series was the correct one. The world of Gothic is just, since a few years ago, become Polish for me. It fits its own fantasy unique setting. Just like how I can't play Witcher games in English voiceovers, I have to use the Polish ones. Okay. I think I overestimated my abilities there, but hey! Maybe I forgot something, but isn't this the first time we died? That's pretty decent, no? Of course, not the strategy I'm gonna be employing on my hardcore attempt. But yeah. Okay, so let's do this. During my hardcore run, I'm gonna be just skipping all the dialogues with the escape key. I'm still gonna be doing them, just to get quests and experience, but I think anyone watching a hardcore run of the game will just be interested in the mechanics behind it and the decisions I make for character building. Oops. Oh, didn't want to speed things up. Okay. I know the moment I fire off an arrow, it's gonna be free. Oh, not you. No one talked about you. Gosh darn it. Okay, critical. Another critical, Nameless. Wow. If I knew we can just request criticals and we get them, then I would have been doing that from the very beginning. Whew. Okay, now let's pick up those plants or whatever is there, just to mark on the map that we've cleared this part. Now, of course, there's a point to be made about maybe only bothering to do that in later chapters, after the final respawn of all monsters. That's a bit more time efficient, but it's not necessarily most time efficient from character building point of view. Again, getting large quantities of experience when you're at your weakest is... you cannot put a price tag on that. And also, if you want to have an easy time, just dump it all into strength and you're good for the entire game, really. That's a bit unfortunate, in my opinion. Okay, since it's just 2 of them, I prefer to do a melee. But now, guys, this is gonna get really tough, and I need to have full health for this. Not only do we need to split the lurkers apart, but the bloodflies, as you're taking your time defeating the lurkers, can then fly to you and start hitting you as you're focusing on a lurker. But at the same time, you cannot turn your back on a lurker, or it's gonna 2-hit kill you or something. So, and this is despite a 25 melee protection, which is the equivalent of a guild armor, like Shadow's armor or Rogue's armor or the basic Novice's armor. But we may do with pens, rings, and amulet. So blink. We're dressed like a pimp, essentially. Anyway, lurker fighting. So, if you time this just right, you can interrupt every single one of their attacks. And it hit me. somehow. I take that very personally. I actually am offended. I am very offended and I want a public apology. Oh, okay. Now those 2 bloodflies, if we can take them on... But I guess it's a good indicator of how much damage a lurker actually deals to us at this point. With a 25 melee protection. Now, it's either the bloodfly or the lurker coming after us. And you know what? I'm just gonna gamble. I'm gonna get the lurker's attention with this amount of health and see what happens. That bloodfly is unnerving, but whenever the bloodfly starts acting messy, we can, I guess, just save and reload to reset its flight pattern. That helps on consoles as well. Oh, no, not good. And I thought we are doing so well. But I guess I was more focused on the bloodfly in the distance. Oh, no. No. Well, honestly, that works too. Okay, we finally have the whole place to ourselves. Wow. See what difference just 1 critical hit makes? It might not seem like much, you know, we deal only 4 points of damage with each hit, and critical means double, but this is on top of that, meaning the melee defense no longer applies. That's why criticals are so powerful. So this is pretty cool. And I'll be honest, guys, to this day, the exact way critical hits work in Gothic 2 is a mystery for me, but by the time we're tackling the game, I'm gonna figure it out via the virtue of defense indicators and damage pop-ups. It makes the game so much more transparent about its mechanics, and I love this. I don't really think Gothic Remake is gonna go down that route, but I'm pretty sure some mods will address this. We'll see just how moddable Gothic Remake will be. But yeah, Gothic Remake, it tries to be, you know, faithful to the original. It will stick to the principle of minimalistic UI so as to keep the immersion going, which I absolutely bloody respect. I think that's excellent. But in terms of making a guide, I cannot do without these mods. Yeah. Even honestly for my private playthroughs. Actually, for my private playthrough, I'm using texture mods, even the DirectX 11 renderer, complete interface overhaul, that sort of thing. And looky here, Grimm's friends. Hey! These guys... And this is amazing about Gothic social system. Remember, we kicked their buttocks. So now...
Spokojnie, wygrałeś.
They're afraid. I think this is amazing. It feels pretty damn satisfying in a place like this, especially to guys that absolutely deserved it. You know, they're essentially bandits in my books. And don't worry, guys, we're not done with them. We'll play a fun little mind trick on them in a future episode for the control spell achievement. They are the perfect victims for that, because they are low level, and that is tied directly to mana cost of said spell. But first we need to have access to the scroll, which will be sooner than you might think. Looking forward. Anyway, we've already pretty much cleared this forest, although you see a significant number of green dots, and that's because I avoided the central tunnel because of a big scary bad wolf. I'm a little Red Riding Hood now, and I want to make it to Grandma's place through the forest. And by Grandma, understand Viper the Smelter, who has 750 ore that I want to get. But yeah, same principle. Look at that. And as a result, we are at 136 health points. We are level 8. A wolf is only 1 level higher than we are now. Now, this is not exactly a perfect comparison because they don't carry equipment. They have natural weapons, natural armor that they cannot really modify, of course. But I still think it serves as a rough comparison of what sort of enemies you should be taking on, you know? And if I'm not mistaken, the final boss is level 200. Yeah, we're not getting anywhere near that. But you do get 20,000 experience points for defeating it. provided you can see the experience pop up, because the game immediately cuts to an FMV. So it's a bit tricky, but I've seen people with footage of doing that, so now we know. But I'll be checking that character sheet anyway. Okay. And I haven't shown you the character sheet on screen because I want to keep it... Well, I'm not sure, it's a mystery. Quarter of a century later, but, you know, for those of you guys from whom maybe this is the first way you're experiencing Gothic. Because it is a bit scary to get into, of course. It's easy for me to say because I'm living and breathing Gothic my whole life, but if I just try to empathize with the new player, yeah, I can imagine why that'd be scary. Okay, and I don't think it's fair of anyone to ask them to keep going at a game they don't immediately enjoy necessarily. Yeah, you don't have fun with something and immediately just let go and spend your times more wisely with a different one. I'm all for that, I get it. But maybe you'll give Gothic a chance after watching my videos. Now that would be the best news I could receive. More people enjoying this gem. Okay, this part of the forest is explored, so as not to waste precious daylight, I'm gonna reload. Guys, we are not completely done with our hunt. I want to clear the opposite beach over there. But first, a brief detour back into the old mine. If you remember, we left a lot of people with a lot of ore in their pockets, and I don't like that. I know it's still only chapter 1, so it's gonna take a while before the inventories of merchants refill, which happens almost every chapter for almost all merchants, not to the old mine merchants. Those just have their starting inventory for the rest of the game. But I want to empty it already, want to have a head start to being a rich bitch. So, let's save here. I'm always expecting the game to crash with access violation error whenever transitioning through loading screens, so always save, that's my recommendation. On PC and Switch version. PS5 was, even pre-release version that I played through, was incredibly stable. I'm happy to say. I had a fantastic time. Okay, so, Glenn, we left you 200 ore for those 20 lockpicks for a crime spree in the old camp. Well, funny I should mention access violation errors, because it didn't happen during a loading screen, it happened whilst talking to Glenn. Glenn, I'm taking that very personally. Nevertheless, good thing I saved when I did, and I'm gonna see you back at this spot. Alrighty guys, so I've re-entered the mine, and let's see how stubborn Glenn is not giving us our ore back. Oh, okay, fine. I don't think I ever had a crash when opening merchant interface, so that's a new feature I've discovered. But anyway, 200 ore is ours. Sorry Glenn, you didn't use it to pay protection fees, but we gave you 4 swords. I'm sure no god is gonna mess with a digger equipped with 4 swords and a pickaxe. That's how this works. So, Santino and Alberto, I always forget which one is who, because you are essentially the same faceless people to me. Anyway, let's give him 1 sword for those 89 crossbow bolts and some bloodfly wings. I mean, why on earth not? That should be pretty close, right? Okay, we're gonna leave him with that, unless he has an arrow he wants to give us. No. Okay, it's fine. I'm feeling very generous today. Oh, yes. Letting go of the smallest common denominator in a exchange-based barter economy. Yeah, what a generosity. Anyway, we do need to navigate to the bottom floors, where Alberto next to Ian is, and then Viper the smelter at the very bottom, and I think we'll be able to sell him one of the rusty two-handers we are carrying, because he has 750 ore on him, and I think we can sell that for 740, which is perfect, right? So let's see if that will work out exactly as I imagine it will. I do hope so. Ah, there's Grimes over there digging, so he's not on a break all the time. I see. The old man still has to work hard. They've shown Grimes in the Gothic remake as well, which is pretty cool. Happy to see him, he's a survivor. Okay, Alberto.
Jasne.
Yeah, just 50 ore and 100 arrows. I don't know if we did business with him before, or if 50 ore is actually what he started with, but we'll take everything, it's fine. Again, all those swords we forged in the Brotherhood Smithy just keep carrying us. This is fantastic. I love breaking economies in video games. By the sound of it, and again, you guys probably watching this video already have verified this in the future. In Gothic Remake, the economy will also be based on the demand. So if a certain merchant has a scarcity of a certain item, they will pay you more than if they have plenty of that item, which is interesting. Sounds a little bit annoying, honestly, but I guess it's just gonna encourage all of us to sell to various merchants and encourage us to check their inventories as the game is moving along. So it might not be all bad. Now, if Viper refuses to stop smelting, just save after having pressed action forward and reload. The same trick like with Harlock when weed meshing or Korkalom during his laboratory
Możesz mi dać
work. And yeah, 750, so I'm thinking Rusty Two-Hander and 2 Wolfskins? What a bargain, eh? Not sure what you're gonna do with them, but hey. There we go, perfect. So glad we offloaded the Rusty Two-Hander, because it's actually difficult to get rid of something with such a high value. Excellent. And that's it, guys. I'm also checking my notes on the side over here, but we just came here for ore and ammo trading. Okay, so let's make it out of here. Let's refill our health and let's take on some additional lurkers and lizards and then make it back to the old camp. Guys, we have 40 skill points. I said it correctly this time. Skill points, not learning points. I'm so proud of myself. I keep maturing as a person, even though I'm 32 years old of age. 40 skill points is the highest amount that it makes sense to carry over for 2 most expensive skills in the game. One being learning the 6th circle of magic towards the very end. The other, learning two-handed weapon mastery, which will become available in chapter 2 already, if you have the skill points for it. So you can become a two-handed weapon master very early in the game, if that's where you've been saving up your skill points for, and strength, ignoring ranged weapons and dexterity. Go for it if you want to have an easy time with the game. I don't think there's such a thing necessary as an easy time with Gothic, if it's one of your first playthroughs. For me, there is, of course, which is why I find strength builds boring myself, but there's no wrong way to play the game, so go all strength, two-handed weapons to get to know the game with relative power and safety, and then play around with different builds. Yeah. And I'm happy to say that the PS5 achievements forced me to play in a way I've never played before, and you're gonna see that in this playthrough. So I know how it should turn out via the virtue of already having beaten it offline like this, but not on PC. Maybe there will be some differences there. Actually, magic is far worse on the PC version than it is on consoles. And that's because some spells require charge up and have a longer casting time, and on the PC version, any damage you take, even if it's 0 or 1 point of damage, you are interrupted and need to start all over again. This is not the case in Gothic 2 and subsequent games, and it's not the case on the PlayStation 5 version of Gothic 1. Not sure about Switch, honestly. But whilst magic is absolutely fantastic in PS5, I think magic kind of sucks in the PC version as a result. And I know a lot of you Gothic veterans will disagree with me on this, but when compared against ranged weapons that are not mana limited, don't need a charge up, deal absolutely massive damage, massive criticals, and almost nothing has any protection from them, magic doesn't hold a candle to ranged weapons in PC Gothic 1. But I'm gonna talk about that and demonstrate that later on. For now, I did promise you, Nameless, that we're gonna eat up. And up to level 10 especially, it's still pretty useful to eat grilled meat. Afterwards, 15 health points are nothing to write home about. You might consider drinking potions past level 10, honestly. Now, the Lurker has the high ground. Let's see how this will go. Oh, no you won't. Oh, it did. That's awkward. Sometimes when I do a forward attack after finishing a combo, like now, did you see it? I deal damage, but the animation doesn't actually occur. It's a weird glitch I again only encounter on the PC version. And I mean, it's pretty bloody useful glitch, but I'm not triggering it intentionally. Oh, I backed up. Why did it hit me again? The high ground didn't really work out for me. Now, in the distance, you see a couple of hooligans. Look at them frolicking around. Black goblins. So these are stronger goblin variety, not the strongest in the games. That's goblin warriors, who disappointingly look exactly the same like black goblins. But they have 10 range protection, and again, on their own, not a problem. As a pack, I'm gonna come back here and take care of them with the longbow. You guessed it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna talk your ear off with the longbow, but it's just such a fantastic weapon for Chapter 1. Especially if you master bows. My goodness gracious. Okay, let's give him some leeway. I don't want them getting into water. Occasionally that means they can become stuck and defenseless. And that's a trick I might use in Gothic too, but I don't want to... Again, that hit. Do it here. Okay, so it seems whenever we finish the combo sequence, if in a certain timing that little move with the sword, that seems to count as an entire hit, despite the animation not actually happening. I'm not sure how to really not exploit that in combat. It's just... I don't want to let the lurker hit me and just delay that so as not to trigger a glitch. We'll just learn to live with that up until we master one-handed weapons. We are still only trade, of course, so the moveset, it is gonna change quite a lot. Now, let's enter the old camp. I want to talk to our best buddy Diego to increase our... You guessed it, it's dexterity again. We're gonna have 24 dexterity, which seems like such an odd number, but there's a rhyme and reason for that. I have everything planned forward meticulously in terms of character building. And I think past the point of us spending those 4 learning points on animal processing, the trophies, you only now work with 5s of skill points for the rest of the game. Everything you're gonna learn from now on costs between 10 and 40 learning points in the 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, sorry, I don't know the English word for those values, but anyway, you know what I mean, hopefully.
Możesz mnie czego...
Okay, so dexterity 5, please, Diego, which is not gonna help us at all for the upcoming fight, but...
Umiesz teraz sprawniej posługiwać się łukiem i kuszą. Wróć niedługo. Musisz się jeszcze wiele nauczyć.
Yeah, we're still green. We're not even level 10. We're guildless. We're nobody still. Okay, something I like to do is a brief sweep of all the merchants in the old camp, just to ensure that the Chapter 1 merchants are picked clean, essentially. So, starting with Graham over here. Did we leave you any ore?
Yes.
No, absolutely not. I already see I sold him 2 crude swords in the past, which Graham seems unwilling or unable to equip. Unless we sold him 3 and he equipped one of them. See, I haven't thought of that. Anyway, now I want to check up on Fisk, Dexter, and I guess Mordrag and Huno. We'll see. We'll make the full circuit. Maybe even before that, let's stop by the MVP of today's episode, Dusty, and hopefully get a better camera angle than last time, where we would just see this bush over here. Okay, let me try from this side. No, not the bench. Nameless. The Dusty.
Byłem w obozie sekty i rozmawiałem z Melvinem.
Naprawdę? I co ci powiedział?
Najwyraźniej przedkłada życie w bractwie nad ciągłe zatargi ze strażnikami.
No nie, ten stary cap wyleguje się podczas gdy ja muszę tu tyrać jak wół. Już ja mu pokażę, ale nie uda mi się opuścić tego obozu.
Dlaczego nie?
Strażnicy dowiedzieli się, że zamierzam stąd odejść. Chyba za dużo o tym gadałem. Potrzebuję przynajmniej 100 bryłek rudy, żeby ich przekupić.
That's a very specific bribe. By the way, guys, the reason I laughed was that Dusty called Melvin Stary Cap, which means something like an old goat, which is not at all carried over into the English translation, but in the Polish it is. I'm curious if this is from German original or some own unique creative take from the Polish localization. Ah, I love this.
A gdybym tak dał ci te 100 bryłek?
Zrobiłbyś to? Ale dlaczego?
Cóż, powiedzmy, że nie tylko ty wolisz życie w bractwie od starego obozu.
To znaczy, że chcesz pójść ze mną?
And guys, notice that if you promise to Dusty that you'll take him to the swamp camp, you get experience. Look at this.
To znaczy, że odprowadzę cię do obozu bractwa.
But you don't actually need to keep that promise. Just promising it gives you the experience, okay? I think that's pretty interesting how you can exploit that. Anyway, I managed to convince the digger Dusty to join the Brotherhood in the swamp camp. I feel like he was already convinced, but anyway, but I'll have to bribe the guards with some ore. Odd the journal entry doesn't mention the number 100. I feel like that's pretty important in case you forget. It'll be best if I take him straight to Baltondral. It also doesn't mention go through the southern gate, or maybe not yet.
To wspaniale! Jestem gotowy do drogi. Możemy ruszać w każdej chwili. Ale nie zapominaj, potrzebujemy 100 bryłek rudy dla strażników.
Don't worry. See, I decided not to just mine ore in the mine. I'm a bit more entrepreneurial. As a result, we're carrying thousands of ore, I think. Let's talk to Fisk over here. Not sure if we left him with anything of value. Well, he spawns 50 arrows because he has a bow equipped, sure. No, I don't think so. Okay, and Dexter. Oh yeah, not only do we want to check your inventory, but we also have the recipe from Korkalom to deliver.
Mam dla ciebie recepturę.
350, nice.
To świetnie! Pokaż ją! Znakomicie! Teraz sam będę mógł wytwarzać
understands
napój
it?
uzdrawiający.
Really?
Równy z ciebie chłop. Wspomnę o tobie Diego. Weź to. W nagrodę.
Guys, he gave us nothing. I think this is because we already got the 50 ore in advance, but I thought he's gonna give us another 50 ore when completing the quest.
Pokaż
But
mi
he
swoje
doesn't.
towary.
Mam tu tylko towar najwyższej jakości.
We do get 350 experience point, we get the quest completed, recipe of the sect. Dexter was impressed. I'm sure he'll speak to Diego in my favor. And it did not update admission to the old camp. Again, the way the admission to the any camp quests are structured, whether they're a separate quest or part of this overarching umbrella quest, is a complete and utter mess. I was kind of hoping the console ports would restructure it somewhat, but they really didn't. They fixed one localization bug I noticed in PC version. I'm gonna talk about that towards the end of the game. Anyway, so we didn't get any additional, or maybe if we didn't ask for advance, we could have gotten more ore out of Dexter, but honestly, having 50 back then in our second episode was way more valuable than 50 now. Anyway, it's a unique recipe, a unique document. I'm collecting these. And Dexter, I know you really wanted it, but you're clearly willing to trade it for 2 crude swords. So, that's where we're at. Okay, excellent. I now also want to talk to Mordrak. I think we already picked him clean and left him with a single arrow, if my memory serves me correct.
Pokaż mi.
Mordrak. Next to Mordrak is where we're gonna finish today's episode, actually. Okay, my secondary laptop died down for some reason, and I have my notes here, so let me just take care of that real quick, okay? And now, Huno, do you have some more raw steel for us? Maybe, potentially, hopefully. Okay, equipment line. Oh my, 7. That is not bad at all. We can give you 5, and now wolf skins at the value of 20. Excellent. Now let's forge them up. I'm not really worried about wasting time now, because we're gonna sleep till the evening anyway. And I'm gonna show you why I want to do that. Excellent. Oh, one fun fact, guys, if you don't mind doing that sort of thing, you can absolutely
Spokojnie, spokojnie, wygrałeś.
beat Huno up repeatedly, and each time you do that, he's gonna appear with more raw steel in his inventory and essentially trigger an infinite money glitch, if you want to do it that way. But I want our playthrough to be a little bit more immersive than that, okay? Okay, so I think I would now like to do some meat frying in front of our hut. Okay, and let's do this sped up, because we have plenty of meat to roast after our hunt. Okay, and afterwards, I would like to go for our very first arena match. Yeah, this is kind of a hidden surprise I put into this episode. It might be a little bit early, given how much we struggled in some situations with the hunt, because the weakest opponent of the arena is Kurgon. He is a god wearing a god's armor. That's no easy opponent this early on, but I think if we learn the animation system well, we can take him down. I'll show you what I mean. So, we can go and challenge him directly into the arena, but as you can see, well, it's occupied by Agorhanis, who is not gonna move away to allow you two to fight, which is very annoying, and also there are no arena spectators, which is kind of beats the purpose, no? So, let's instead sleep until evening. That's essentially gonna be 2 hours, 2 minutes, no big waste to refill our health. Let me just make sure we are in 7th day, and if we sleep till next evening, there we go, 7th day, 7 PM. So many lucky numbers. And now you'll see all the diggers and shadows in the vicinity rushing to see the match that hasn't even been announced yet. but it's the part of the daily schedule to, at this point, at 7 p.m, become spectators of an arena match that doesn't happen unless you start one, okay? And you can start only 2. You can never fight Gorhanis, which, again, I hope they'll address in the remake. And you guys will maybe even comment in the comments already on the video that that's exactly what happened in the Gothic remake. Okay, no need to talk to anyone else. Kurgo, you've been an absolute pal, but...
Chcę z tobą walczyć. Jesteś
It's time.
gotów?
Chodź za mną.
Now, Kurgo is not a master of one-handed weapons, he's trained just like we are, but he has so much more strength and protection.
Zaczynajmy. Niech wygra najlepszy.
Now, Kurgo enters with a charge, which is a terrible idea, so take advantage of that and dodge out of the way. Oh, that was a lot easier than I thought. All he has on him is 10 ore, single apple and 2 crude swords. The reason Kurgo has multiple crude swords is that he can often be seen sharpening them on the whetstone. This is the result of him turning blades into crude swords on the whetstone, just to make that ambient animation possible. And I just love the fact spectators were cheering, I assume for Kurgo, not for us.
Jeszcze pożałujesz!
Oh, don't be angry.
Puściłeś mi niezłe baty, stary. To była dobra walka, ale już się skończyła.
That's more something I think Kurgo would say. You know, that was a good fight. Well, now it's over. Okay, so since he already had crude swords, sometimes you can find blades in his inventory, then feel free to sharpen them here. And now, to get officially recognized, let's brag to Scary about that.
Walczyłem z Kirgo.
I pokonałeś go. Całkiem nieźle jak na takiego żółtodzioba. Jestem pod wrażeniem.
And we made our first point of progress for the champion achievement. Yeah, we'll only unlock it once we defeat Karim. And my friends, Karim is such a difficulty spike. He is the milestone that if you overcome it in chapter 1, you're either doing a strength build or you really know how to fight. Okay, guys, so let's go to Dusty actually now, who is relatively nearby. Oh, important thing, we want to make it to Baltondral by midnight. After midnight, he retreats into his tent, and if you follow him, he'll get hostile and impossible to deliver Dusty to. And if you sleep in a bed, Dusty will reset his position back in the old camp. It's very annoying. So let's just make sure we get to the swamp camp by midnight. Also, let's see that Sketty was impressed by my fight against Kurgo. Yep. He will actually be really impressed if we defeat Karim, but that, my friends, is for another day. We don't have the weapon for that. Who knows? Or strength. Or discipline. Karim is a master. He's so much faster than Kurgo. However, he will also charge, which you can exploit, strafe to the side and hit them from the back.
Jestem gotowy. Możemy ruszać.
Dobra, wyjdźmy południową bramą. Przy północnym wyjściu nic nie wskuramy. Tamtejsi strażnicy są nieprzekupni. Wolałbym, żebyś to ty zajął się całą tą sprawą z rudą. Ja się nie nadaję do takich rzeczy.
Dobrze, ruszajmy.
To be fair, we told Dusty we have a motivation by joining the Brotherhood, so he's kind of taking advantage of that, saying, well, then you pay for my exit fee, essentially. Now, guys, we got a journal entry, finally a useful one. As part of the new Souls for the Brotherhood quest, Dusty wanted me not to use the main gate in the north. It seems to be easier to bribe the guards at the gate to the south. Well, I am nothing if not determined. Let's see what happens if we go to the main gate. It's pretty damn funny. Don't worry, it's not gonna permanently disable the quest or anything like that. It's gonna be just the second... No, Bloodwind, don't talk to us. It's gonna be just the second time we got into trouble with guards at the northern gate. Let's just make sure Dusty follows us. Kyle is... Oh, Kyle didn't manage to stop me. That's always a plus. And again, you'll notice Dusty has a teal-colored name, meaning if he kills something, you'll get the experience, but he's not a fighter like Balor was, so don't count on that. It just means he's following us, okay? His name, it will cease to be teal the moment we get into trouble with the Northern Gate guards. Let me show you what I mean by that. It's gonna be the pale one over here.
Hej, ty! Chyba nie próbujesz przemycić Dustiego na zewnątrz, co?
Chcieliśmy tylko...
To się wam zaraz odechce.
Okay, Dusty's name is Green. He will still follow us for some reason. Now make sure to keep hitting the jump key as you run away. Oh, thank God. He sheathed his blade. And now, guys, if you talk to Dusty, he's gonna reset his position back to the original place. You can, however, talk to him again as if
Jestem
nothing
gotowy.
happened.
Możemy ruszać.
Dobra, wyjdźmy południową bramą. Przy północnym wola...
Dobrze.
Okay, it's the same lines. No
Check.
No.
Do zobaczenia.
You're not delaying us in getting to Baltondral by midnight. Okay, this is very important. Okay, Dusty is now following us. Again, we're just pretending this awkward situation didn't happen, and maybe it's best we don't show our face around the northern gate guards for some time. Again. God, I love this game. Let's try via the southern one. I'm not sure exactly how Dusty found out southern ones are more susceptible to bribery, but I'm actually surprised the northern ones aren't. Then again, we haven't exactly been given a choice to even offer them money, right? That's not going to be the case at the southern gate. Hey Mordrak, we'll be finishing up today's episode next to you. Okay, Dusty, you still with us? And now I just want to show you the different dialogue options and what they do that you have with the Southern Gate guards, okay?
Stój! Dokąd zabierasz naszego drogiego przyjaciela?
Let's just be true. There's nothing to be ashamed of, right?
Udajemy się do obozu bractwa.
Gdzie nigdy nie dotrzecie.
Where you'll never make it to. Oh, we survived a hit. And now, guys, you and Dusty can absolutely outrun the guard and make it to the swamp camp, okay? That is absolutely an option, and you can still complete the quest. As well as if you say this.
Nie twój interes.
Mam na ten temat nieco inne zdanie.
He said I have a different opinion about this topic. Okay, so this is an option, but why I recommend actually paying the 100 ore nuggets
Stój!
is
Dokąd
experience.
zabierasz naszego drogiego przyjaciela?
Idziemy się przespacerować. A oto 100 bryłek rudy.
Nic nie widziałem.
See, clean, simple, effective, everyone walks away happy, and for 100 ore, you get 350 experience points. That's amazing. Even a journal entry. I managed to bribe the guards at the rear south gate. Everyone has a price. Okay, excellent. I think everyone has a prize line really applies when someone does something really awful for money. This was not doing something awful for money, so, I mean, I think it's the morally right option to let them go. But anyway, I'm speeding things up a bit. We've been through this path actually at the beginning of our previous episode with Balparves, and I like this. You know, in the previous episode, just a short while ago, as what was it, level 4 character, we were the one doing the following of a stronger NPC. And in today's episode, we leveled up via 4 levels since then, and we're the strong NPC delivering someone else to the Brotherhood. I don't think this was necessarily some planned metaphor or anything, but the fact that the game turns out like this is really awesome, I think, in my opinion, as a storytelling device. Okay, so we want to make it directly to Baltondral. The problem is Dusty... Oh boy, okay, so this entrance gate of the Brotherhood camp... Oh, important thing I almost forgot. Let's put the Novice's loincloth on. We're pretending we want to join, right? Or maybe we actually want to join. Who knows how I'll decide. I know how I'll decide because of the achievements, but anyway, there's only one choice you can make for that. Dusty doesn't exactly follow these planks well. He can end up in the water. Ah, okay. But you know what, guys? Let me show you what happens if you pass by Melvin. Since Dusty is cooperating this time. I said cooperating, not being an absolute nincompoop. Thank you. The sad thing is, you cannot talk to Melvin about Dusty. You cannot talk to Dusty about Melvin. They don't say hi to one another. This breaks the immersion so much to me, and yeah, I mean, I get it, we're delivering to a different teacher, to Baltondral, not to Joru, which is probably for the best since Joru is a pretty much an experimental guinea pig. I don't think there's much wisdom in him, but it's a shame they don't even say hi to each other, you know? That always broke my immersion somewhat. So, Gothic Remake, I have high hopes for you. My god, it's around the corner. I can't believe it. I still remember the times of the playable teaser in, what was it, 2019? Okay, Dusty, you're still with us, I hope. Good. Now, in this conversation, something really cool is gonna happen with the subtitles. Watch this.
Mistrzu, oto ktoś, kto chciałby cię poznać.
Kogóż mi tu przyprowadziłeś? Czy jest godzien?
Cóż, bez twojego duchowego wsparcia zapewne się nie obędzie, mistrzu.
Dobrze. Od dzisiaj ten człowiek będzie moim uczniem. Każdego dnia będziesz przychodził do mojej chaty po nauki. Dla twojej duszy jeszcze nie jest zbyt późno.
Guys, this is what I meant. The subtitles turned red. Why is that such a cool thing? That's the background conversation between other people type of subtitles. They could have easily just written the dialogue line Baltondral makes to Dusty in the standard yellow ones, but they actually use the engine capabilities to make it clear that he's talking to someone else. Maybe I'm seeing something in nothing, but this impresses me, this attention to detail so much.
Mistrzu, chciałbym dołączyć do bractwa. Czy mogę liczyć na twoją przychylność?
Udowodniłeś, że jesteś człowiekiem prawym. Kor Kalom powinien cię przyjąć.
Okay, and that's it. That's our 4th out of 5 points for the True Believer achievement and joining the Brotherhood. Now, Dusty is still stuck in following a cycle, but if you just have this empty conversation with him, it will reset and he'll sit down and be one of Baltondral's disciples. And that's it. We have also completed new souls for the Brotherhood. Dusty is now Baltondral's disciple. I've accomplished my task. Yeah, another brick into the pyramid scheme, an admission to the swamp camp. Baltondral considers me worthy of wearing a novice's robe. This is absolutely brilliant, I think. Okay, excellent. So, we are 1 point away from True Believer, and guys, because we are at 4 out of 5 approvals, you can already go to Korkalom and join the Brotherhood. You are past level 5, including level 5, and you have 4 approvals from gurus. It's that easy. This is why joining the Brotherhood only gives you 750 experience points, whereas joining the old camp or new camp gets you 1000, because it's recognized they're much more difficult organizations to join than the Brotherhood. It's probably also why I joined the Brotherhood in my very first playthrough as a kid. Maybe. Okay. So now... Oh yes, before I go for another walk into the swamp... How much time do we have till... Oh, we're doing fine. We're doing really good. I want to do something rather odd, which will make sense in a couple of minutes if you just bear with me. Baltondral, you're a merchant. So I could have done that with Fortuno, it's a bit closer, doesn't matter. I'm gonna give a crude sword to Bal Kadar for free. Meaning, we essentially paid 50 ore. Why on earth am I doing something like that? Well, that's because on PC version specifically, there is a missing dialogue line which makes obtaining something impossible and prevents us from paying 50 ore. I will show you. Let's sleep now, this is very important, because if you now walk into the swamp and talk to Viran and Balor, it's not yet time for them to give you the second day's harvest. An entire day plus the exact amount of hours to the exact hour you got the harvests from need to pass before they give you another one. Now I want another one because we delivered the original harvest to Kor Kalom to get, what was it, Balorun's approval for the True Believer achievement. However, if you wait for at least 2 days, so from day 6, to day 8, you will be able to ask for the second harvest, okay? And that's what I'm gonna show you right now. So let's sleep till midnight, which is essentially 2 hours, 8 minutes. We have officially made it to day 8 at midnight. And now, let's go for a walk in the swamp. Oh, let's not forget, it is another day. We can ask Fortuno for new ration.
Przyszedłem po moją codzienną porcję ziela.
Proszę bardzo. 3 sztuki mroku północy. Tylko nie wypal wszystkiego naraz.
Sorry, what was that? Smoke everything at the same time? Okay, fine. I think we're gonna have a better time avoiding swamp sharks when a little bit high. Definitely how this works. So, I want to just go... You know what? Viran is closer. He's the eastern gatherer, whereas Balor is the western one. So... And again, we're collecting the harvest at night surrounded by swamp sharks. Why is it never during the day? I could have slept until morning to do it, but that would shave off precious daylight hours from our next episode. And we're gonna need daylight hours because I think the next episode is gonna be even larger than our second one, where I covered pretty much the entirety of the outer ring of Old Camp, okay? So, equipped with our torch, although I think eventually I'm gonna switch to a bow, but this part of the swamp should be safe regardless of whether I can see the swamp sharks or not. Let's make it to Viran. And since we proved our loyalty with slaughtering the bloodflies, we should have no trouble getting the second harvest again.
Mam zabrać następny
there we go.
ładunek ziela do Kaloma.
Co? Znowu?
Chyba nie każesz mi teraz wybić dla ciebie wszystkich błotnych węży, co? Nie mam tyle czasu.
Dobra, już dobra. Masz tu to cholerne ziele.
He literally said, here's your effing weed. He was so angry that we made that remark about the bloodflies. Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, and now the most dangerous part. We need to cross this central part of the swamp to reach Balor and Rosencrantz, if you remember. Okay, I would like to pick up these plants at least without getting harassed via the swamp shark. If that swamp shark harasses us, I'm gonna call the HR. That's gonna show it. Okay. And you know what? Maybe it'd be better not to go into the swamp, but to climb this log over here. By the way, if you're playing the Switch or PS5 version, you'll definitely be followed by a swamp shark, and you come anywhere near her, that Templar will die. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, because you get an incredibly expensive two-handed sword and your very first crossbow of the game. Pros and cons. You can also do that in the PC version, but I don't want to, you know? I want to respect the Templars and Swamp Sharks' personal boundaries. Anyway, we're now gonna ask Balor for the next harvest.
To ja wróciłem. Przychodzę po następną dostawę.
Jasne, żeby sprzedać ją znowu w nowym obozie.
Yep.
Najpierw moje 50 bryłek zaliczki.
And as you can see, there is no dialogue line allowing us to pay him 50 ore again. This is a PC version issue. I'll be honest, I don't think I've done this on Switch. On PS5, you'll have no trouble paying him again. I think you'll even get experience again. But on PC, nothing is quite as simple. So guys, I want to save the game here. And the only way we can pull this off is via insert item miscellaneous _P. And thankfully the first suggestion is the raw swampweed we're supposed to get. The problem is, I have no idea, and I looked, how to insert multiples of a given item. Also, Gothic's cheat mode or Marvin mode console is primitive. It doesn't allow you after typing to just press arrow forward and retype the last command. No, it doesn't allow you to. Instead, Nameless will just move forward. So I have to press the letter I, then ITM I _P in a sequence 50 times. So eventually I get really quick at this without making a mistake. But I guess I don't need to do this because on PC, like I said, there are no achievements currently, that is. Maybe it will get its Risen 1 hotfix or something like that. But I want to be as close to simulating the achievement unlocks for consoles as I can. So I'm gonna go through this painful exercise. I'm not actually counting, so I should at some point when I feel it's still less than 50, just pick all of them up, and we'll have to pick all of them up individually. I think I messed up now. Insert item IP, excellent. And check that we have what we need, because since we want 100 overall, 50 from Viran and 50 from Balor, we should have 108 raw swampweed on us. 8 we found or stole somewhere in the old camp, I think. Oh my god, I'm not good at this now, am I? That's because I'm talking whilst typing. Okay, let's now pick everything up and see how much we have. 108 is the target number we want to hit. So let me just speed things up somewhat. Okay, let's see how much we have. 92, that means we need 16 more. Okay, let's do this. So, item _P. And I don't want there to be even a single one that's extra, because I don't want to leave one of these weeds on the floor and have a green dot on the map. And have an unfair extra item in our inventory, which we're not supposed to have. This is probably my OCD showing somewhat. Anyway, 7 more. We can do this. I, my underscore P. Okay, please tell me that's 7 and not 8. Pretty please. I mean, worst case scenario, we'll just sell it for free. No, we are at 108. And this is what you will be on consoles. Well, I only tested this on PlayStation 5, not on Switch. When you give Balor the 50 ore, and this is why I gave the free crude sword to Balkadar, to simulate us paying 50 ore to Balor. That's it. Anyway, let's check on Kai Rosenkrantz again.
Cześć, co słychać?
Tylko uważaj, żebyś nie skrzywdził moich kochanych drzew.
Okay, I'm sure the mission to turn this into a meadow full of flowers is progressing well. Okay, excellent. So, now I would very much like to make it to this bridge over here. Excellent. And now, my friends, one final thing in today's episode. Let's see the time. It's 1:52. Ooh, let's see how long the journey back to the old camp will be. Yeah, that's right. I want to make it back to the old camp and save next to Mordrek. And it's important you don't just save once, but you make an entirely separate backup save, which you thankfully can do on consoles, for the Brownie Points achievement and also the Cunning Schemes achievement. Like I said, unlike the True Believer achievement, which you can unlock in one playthrough along with Brownie Points and along with Cunning Schemes and Brownie Points are unfortunately mutually exclusive due to really dumb decision PlayStation 5 version made, which the PC version has as well, but it's not a problem because there are no achievements. But Switch version actually approached it the best way, but Switch version doesn't have achievements, so yeah. I'm gonna talk more about this later. For now, just know that you cannot do both in one playthrough, but with a clever saving system, you're not gonna be far off of unlocking all achievements, okay? And the most efficient method is what I want to show you. Look how quickly we are back in the old camp. With a speeding up mod, of course. I still think this makes for a better guide. Or I could just do skips forward, I guess. Anyway, guys, let's put on some pants, because we want to look always like the local people wherever we are. And very important, I'm gonna save the game here, and please, guys, make a separate save backup for the Brownie Points achievement. I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty why, but if you want all trophies and the platinum without playing the game multiple times, this is pretty much the first branching path in the narrative that you're gonna take, okay? Thankfully, this branch for Brownie Points is also gonna end very briefly. We unlock the achievement and we go back to the main branch, but later about that. For now, thank you so much for being with me. Today's episode was, I think, a lot of fun. We really grew in power. We've been on a hunt. We've made a lot of money. And all this to really be able to stand down ground in the most dangerous camps of the three, the new camp, which is where our next episode will take place after Mordrek, our friendly neighbor, will deliver us there. Okay, guys? So thank you so much. And before I say farewell, I just want to say thank you to my patrons, as is the tradition on this channel. Blind Goopel, Mick, Severin Drax, Enstickle, KT Danger, Pooh the 2, Basic Brownie, Bino, and Alex Clark. Thank you guys so much for being my loyal Winstons and for gifting us a mushroom guide, avoiding all the poisonous ones in the forests. Next, I would like to say big thanks to my caretaker Winstons, Karavetu, Renegade Derny, Blanket Fox, Dig the Bee, PD92, Akires, and Tomino1553. Thank you guys so much for your support of the channel and also for parting with your daily ration of Northern Dark, with Viran getting him so high that he believed our lies and willingly parted with his half of the Swampweed Harvest. I would also like to give special thanks to my brave veteran Winstons, Andrea Paviglianiti, Alexander, and Richard Dearman. Thank you guys so much for your valiant support of the channel and also for treating Nameless to some delicious sushi, making him look at all the lurkers as nothing more than a tasty snack and an easy prey. And finally, I would like to give one very special thanks to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for your long and generous support of the channel And also thank you for bribing all the arena spectators to cheer for us and boo for Kurgo in today's match, making poor Kurgo freeze in panic and becoming a very easy opponent for us to defeat, marking our first step in becoming a champion. And on a final note, I'd like to say thanks to my free Patreon members, as well as to each and every one of you for making it to the end of today's rather chunky episode. Now guys, I am so happy that we went on our first hunt. What do you think? Was it relaxing? Was it stressful for you when you did your own? Or are you about to do one? Do you need some extra help? Do let me know in the comment section below. And also let me know if you've played the Gothic remake and what are your thoughts. Like I said in the video, I will be sharing mine in detail once they are ready and I've properly beaten the game. I truly want to take my time with it, so I'll be late to the party, as is often the case in this channel, but I think that helps the quality of the videos. If, however, you absolutely cannot wait and want to see someone checking out Gothic Remake, I can't recommend friend of the channel, Vertigo, enough, whose knowledge about the Gothic lore far exceeds mine, and he has been doing an absolutely fantastic job sharing his first-time impressions with live audience on his streams. However, all his streams are available as recordings for you to check out in your own time. That's, for example, my own preferred way of checking out streams. And you also heard his voice in each of this Gothic Classic Let's Play series episodes at the very beginning, setting the mood perfectly when doing the recap. Nevertheless, during our 7th day inside the magical barrier, we have actually leveled up 3 times, which is insane. This is why I love these hunts so much. We have spent 5 skill points to learn 5 additional points of dexterity from Diego, and we are still equipped with the same battle sword and field bow, but look how well they served us. On top of that, technically our strongest piece of armor is Novice's loincloth along with Neck's amulet and Ring of Iron Skin, and we are still wielding that Ring of Power for that extra punch. And our combined fortune is 712 arrows, despite how many we used today, 467 crossbow bolts and 4005 ore nuggets. And we have not unlocked any achievement today, but we laid the foundation for a lot more achievements to come in the future. Namely the Brownie Points, for which, please guys, tell me you did make a backup save. As for what's next for me, well, that will either be me sharing my thoughts on Gothic Remake, but I do need to finish it at least once, and very, very, very thoroughly, you know me at this point, and the other alternative is that I will already end up releasing the first episode of our Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness Remastered Let's Play series. This is also taking a long time because it's a game I've never tackled before, so I need to really bring myself up to speed and train to actually have worthwhile advice and guide to give you guys. Okay guys, so I'm kind of stuck between a hammer and the anvil here, which one will I tackle first, and there's Gothic Classic and Gothic Remake, but I am going to always go by the principle of wrapping one thing up first and then moving on to the next one so that I can give it my undivided attention. Which means I'll be late to the party, but hey, what else is new? All the more I appreciate you guys sticking around and checking out Gothic Classic. At least maybe some of you have joined in to check it out because you've played the remake and are curious about the original. And I hope to really clarify any questions you might have about the original game that started this quarter of a century ago. Anyway guys, that's it for me. Until I'll see you again, may the sleeper awaken.